in United States, in Europe, you, for example, can support Russia, right? And you will not be in jail. But in Russia, you cannot support Ukraine and not ending up in jail.
Throughout the war in Ukraine, it's been hard to find out how ordinary Russians feel. Putin's state media broadcasts their propaganda, and we rarely hear dissenting opinions, as anti-war demonstrators have been arrested. So how did voices like this slip through the net?
Поддерживал я Путина? Нет. Ну это нет. Мне не 60 лет, чтобы поддерживать Путина.
Путина не особо поддерживаю, я понимаю причины того, что сейчас происходит, но, наверное, от Путина все устали.
It's the work of this YouTuber based in Russia. His name is Daniil.
Ну и зачем этот вопрос? Чтобы потом в КГБ отправить?
Думаете, отправят?
Естественно. Сейчас всех хотят посадить, кто против Путина.
Hi, my name is Daniil. I have a YouTube channel called 1420. We do street interviews in Russia.
I started by asking him if he's concerned he will get arrested.
Sometimes I see people being imprisoned in Russia for some small things. For example, yesterday I saw a news article. Some lady was imprisoned for making for leaving a like on Russian social media, right? On some post that said something about Putin, right? But other people who even hold a blank white paper, they are not imprisoned. They just getting fined, or not fined, but how do I say it? They had to pay fee or something like this. And also there are people like us, 1420. We make some videos like this and we are not imprisoned. So it's weird.
So have you not faced any opposition to it?
Me personally, I have not. But I received some threats on Instagram, on email, some weird people. They tell me that I'm going to be in jail and things like this. It's crazy. But no, I'm not in jail or anything.
What do they say?
It's something like, you gotta leave Russia while you have a chance. We called the police and we told them that you are spread LGBT propaganda and pedophilia. So it says spread LGBT and pedophilia propaganda. That's crazy, but that's what it says. And you will be in jail, and also for spreading fake information about Russian military. And we will fight you to death, something like this. So you gotta leave Russia.
And how does that make you feel?
I gotta stay confident, no matter what. Can't show no fear.
Или какой-нибудь древний разрушенный город.
Мы понимаем, к чему вы клоните. Это наверняка ситуация на Украине.
Ну, если вот верить людям, которые публикуют это Бахмут. Вот, как видите, там вообще все разрушено. Насколько доверяете таким фотографиям?
Нормально. Мне хочется верить, точнее, не хочется верить в то, что это действительно происходит сейчас. В Украине это наверняка происходит. Но наверняка, если вы спрашиваете, то наверняка это действительно так. Я лично думаю, что, наверное, да, это похоже на правду. Но вот так сказать.
Do you feel as though people are able to give their honest opinion on camera?
Yeah, I can tell if people lie or not, but usually sometimes people just tell us that they don't want to participate.
And how frequently is that?
Yeah, I would say I didn't collect any statistics on this, how many people, but I would say only 20% of people eventually end up in a video.
Do you feel like maybe it's because they're scared to talk about these subjects?
Yeah, maybe they just... I was thinking what I would say if somebody approached me in the street to ask some question. I think I would also say that I'm apolitical. I will just run away.
А к Путину как относится молодежь? Да? Я могу только за себя сказать.
Да, давайте.
Негативно.
Почему именно?
Долго это будет на самом деле. Ну вот я говорю свое мнение, это негативно.
Что он долго у власти или непонятно?
В двух словах буквально.
Это вообще, да. И то, что сейчас происходит, сами знаете. Да.
What would you say is the overwhelming feeling of young people in Russia right now?
If somebody like me answered your question, what do you think about young people right now in the 90s? I think this person also answered that they have a good future, they will bring a good future to the country, right? But no good future happened since the 90s. So I think young Russians this day also, I think, can bring good future to the country. They are more liberal than the previous generation and so on. But I'm not sure if a good future will happen anyway. I don't know.
Based on the people that you've spoken to, in specifically to what's happening in Ukraine, would you say that young people are perhaps supportive of what Russia's doing or not supportive of Russia's doing? And then how does that compare to older generations?
I think older people, I'm not sure if they actually support it or not. Maybe it's just their way to survive, right? To just accept what's going on because they need to pay mortgage. They have some other duties, right? They need to take care of their kids, and just to survive, they need to accept this. Otherwise, they'll have problems, right? And I'm not sure if they actually support it or not. Maybe they're just scared, because the thing about such regimes is that you cannot be opposite to this, right? In United States, in Europe, you, for example, can support Russia, right? And you will not be in jail. But in Russia, you cannot support Ukraine and not ending up in jail. So maybe they support some people, maybe they're not. It's hard to say during this regime when you cannot be the opposite. And young people, they have less responsibilities, they have less duties, they don't have mortgage, so they are more free in this regard. And of course, they can say what they think. And mostly young people don't support the war. I don't know, like 70%, 80%.
Как-то молодежь в Питере относится к Путину?
Очень плохо. Я очень надеюсь, что это никуда, значит, не пойдет. Чтобы... Я очень надеюсь, в общем, что меня за это не посадят. Как-нибудь еще по-другому можно относиться к человеку, который начал войну.
You've also done street interviews in more rural parts of Russia too. So could you talk to me about how the change in the geographical landscape impacts people's opinions on what's going on in Ukraine too?
In rural areas, they also depend. They depend on the government. They need to receive pensions, some payments from the government, and maybe their brains of people in rural areas, they make some good association with Putin, like good association, because they receive payments from the government and they think that, oh wow, Putin is very great. Because mostly people in rural areas, they are less, I would say, educated.
It's been nearly a year since the war began in Ukraine. So how have you noticed a shift in the Russian public's opinions on what's going on in Ukraine over that time?
1 year ago, we had more people who didn't support the war, right? And nowadays, only maybe one person or two person in the whole video among 20, 30 people don't support. Back then, it was maybe half people, right? And I was discussing it with my friends, why it's happening. Maybe you need to try harder to find such people. But I think the reason is such people just left the country, and they're just gone. So so nowadays in proportion it's bigger of such people who support the war, I guess. But even they, I think they are tired of the war. They just want peace, definitely.
Do people question if your content is biased towards one side or the other?
They mostly liberal, left-leaning people who watch my videos. But I believe it's because such people are more open to new knowledge, right? Right people, conservative people, they are less open to new knowledge. For example, if they're gonna see some liberal people on my channel, they will not be able to watch these videos anymore. But my audience, they keep watching it anyway, because they gotta see what Russian people think.
Украинский город. Верите вообще в то, что там произошло или нет?
Я просто не слежу за этим сейчас.
А почему не следите?
Проблем своих хватает.
А как вы вообще думаете, вот почему гражданская инфраструктура разрушена, а не там, военные объекты, как нам обещали?
Не знаю, ну насколько, если верить как бы нашим новостям, так скажем, или вообще источникам, то что либо это не мы, либо там кто-то укрывался, либо случайно.
Ну, отлично, вы доверяете вот этой информации?
Да.
So I do these street interviews, and I know that people sometimes say very foolish things on interviews, right? And people start judging them in the comments immediately. So if some person said some wrong thing, this person will be hated in the comments. And I think it's wrong to judge people by some couple of words that they say on the interview, right? And also, whoever is gonna read this or watch, I need to say that if I said some wrong thing, I don't know, maybe it's not my first language, English, anyway. And I might say some wrong thing. So I just want to tell people that don't judge me if I said some wrong things. It might happen. It doesn't make me a bad person if I say some wrong thing, occasionally, accidentally, right? So that's what I wanted to tell. Because I see it every time on every video. People hate other people for some couple of words. It's wrong, especially on political videos. For some reason, it's just too much hatred, too much labels. People call each other slaves, ostriches, serfs. One side call another side bad words. This is wrong. So if anybody is who gonna read this, if you have urge to say slave, serf, ostrich, and so on, just don't say anything, close the computer, and go in the park. Take a rest.
Are you concerned about your own safety?
Concerned or not, I gotta stay confident anyway. So I can't show no fear to nobody. That's not how it's supposed to be. But I can't say I'm afraid or anything. They want to, some people just want to feel you being afraid. But I can't say I'm afraid or I do this and that.
And what about the people who were involved in your videos?
We actually ask people how old they are. They're usually over 18, so it's fine. But I think that they are more brave than me. Most of the people, sometimes they say that Putin should have a trial in Gag, right? And mostly they are more brave than me.